Hey, friends, it's Karen. I'm really glad you're here. I'm recording this as a bonus episode because it feels like one of those moments that doesn't need a lot of planning, just a little bit of presence. If you are listening to this because school might be closed, or your plans were canceled, or the weather has slowed everything down, welcome. And if you're listening simply because you needed a quieter voice today, thank you so much for being here. I do want to let you know that this episode is sponsored in part by Coach Dion Basketball, the Woodlands' most dedicated coach. You can learn more at CoachDion.com. Right now, we are in a winter storm, and with the winter storm comes a mix of things. There's uncertainty. I'm sure this past weekend there were some last minute errands, maybe still now. Check in the weather forecast one more time than necessary just to kind of see what we can expect. But there's also a softening, a clearing of the calendar. I know I was supposed to go to Water for Elephants. It's a Broadway musical down at the Hobby Center. I had that scheduled for Tuesday, and I decided on Thursday I don't like the uncertainty, looking at the weather forecast, not quite sure what's going to happen, what the roads are going to be like. Let me go ahead and cancel. And a couple other things that happened that were on the schedule for this past weekend that we had to clear from the calendar. There's a hush, a slowness, and sometimes the world will slow down for us, even when we don't ask it to. I want to say this first. It's totally okay if you're feeling a little bit unsettled by the stillness. I know for one, I'm so used to momentum, and you might be so used to school drop-offs and errands. Of course, there's those of you who go into an office. There are notifications, there's noise, there's after-school activities. And when all of that pauses, it can feel strange. Now, it might be relieving, but it really can feel different, almost too quiet. Stillness can be uncomfortable before it becomes peaceful. But what if this slowing down isn't something to just push through? What if it's something to actually receive? What if this is a small pocket of time where the only expectation is to just be? I love doing stuff. I feel like my calling is to really enrich the lives of local moms. I love doing that. Always looking for stuff to do, always trying to figure out what can my readers be going through? What helpful tidbit of information might I be able to give? But this time might be about no productivity goals, no making the day count. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, there's nothing for the kids to do. Let's make this count. Maybe we're going to recite some Shakespeare. Maybe we're going to work on this or that. Or, you know what? Sometimes you just got to let the day be what it is. Now, if your electricity is on, maybe this looks like making soup or tea. And even if you don't have electricity, you can probably still make your soup. We have a gas stove, so we can light that and make something comforting. Maybe lighting candles, sitting near a window, watching the sky change. And if your power goes out, maybe it looks like extra blankets, quiet conversation, reading something aloud, whether it's a story, if you have little ones, nursery rhymes, resting earlier than usual. Maybe instead of staying up to 2 or 3 being a busybody, power's out, there are no errands, there's nothing on the schedule for tomorrow. Maybe I'll just go to bed early. And if school is closed and everybody's home, maybe today isn't about managing the chaos perfectly. Maybe it's about lowering the bar and widening the grace. I take it to heart when I go to the pediatrician when my girls are younger, and the pediatrician will ask, do they have screens in their room? And I'm like, no, we don't do TVs. I don't even have a TV in my own bedroom, and they don't recommend it, by the way. There's no judgment if your kids do their screens in their room, but we don't. And at a time like this, maybe maybe they should take their screens into their room. Maybe we could wheel a TV in there. Maybe I can say, girls, use your iPads, find something on Netflix, and just chill out. I'm not really giving myself a heartache over screens in the room during a winter storm. So widen the grace, lower the bar, and just chill out. Now, you don't need to recreate a magical snow day memory. I don't know if we're going to have snow or not. And by the time you're listening to this, I don't know. We will already probably be in the thick of whatever we're going to get. But as far as precipitation, I'm not sure. But even if we get snow, and I don't think we're supposed to, doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to entertain everyone. Kids are just bored, and you're like, okay, there's nothing to do. They're sitting and doing nothing. It's okay. You don't have to do anything impressive. Being present is enough. You're calm, even an imperfect calm, can set the tone more than any activity ever could. So these moments, they don't need to announce themselves as important when they happen, but just think about it. Later on, when we come back to this moment, we're going to remember it as that quiet morning or that unexpected day at home. It was January 2026. We'll remember it as that time everything stopped for just a little while. And we realize that was a gift. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, restless right now, take a slow breath. The world doesn't need you to fix anything today. And I know that you may have a reason to be anxious. You could be expecting, and maybe due date is in a couple of weeks, and you're like, okay, everything is shut down. And what if my water breaks and all of that? I get it. Yeah. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, I want to validate that for you, but I just want to give you permission to know that it's okay to move at winter speed. We're not supposed to power through, rush through every single day. And when the world slows down for us, go ahead and accept it. Thank you so much for spending these few quiet minutes with me. Wherever you are, whether your lights are on or off, whether the roads are clear or icy, I hope you feel a little bit more grounded than when you started. This is When the World Slows Down. And for today, that's enough.